So this motherfucker says Ronda Rousey's gonna win.
Yeah.
Support. No DQ.
You think there's going to be a riot? I would say there's going to be a riot at MetLife Stadium if that happens. Dude, they're going to rush the ring. Dude, can you imagine the garbage that is going to pile up? It's going to be like 1999 WCW.
Yeah, it's when Hogan to join the NWO. Yeah, it's going to be that fucking bad. But
throw like glass beer bottles.
No, those fans were bad. I was watching where Goldberg beat Hogan on Nitro for the World Heavyweight Championship. Yeah. And they were throwing garbage in the ring even before the pin. Yeah. Like, the WCW fans were bad about that.
You have to realize where I'm coming from in this match, and I've actually been thinking about it a lot, because Becky Lynch was my initial pick for the match. Charlotte Flair actually was for a little bit too. But then the second Charlotte Flair won that belt is when things kind of went sideways with me, and I was thinking it's like, well, what's the best thing they can do at this point? Surprise us with another WWE women's pay-per-view without even really announcing it, because then they could have both the titles be decided that night. The women's tag title match. They could have the no doubt Io Shirai versus Kairi Sane, if my prediction's right for that match.
Dude, your shit is ballsy. Your prediction was ballsy.
I mean, I love it.
There's several of your predictions that are ballsy.
It's like basically, and they would call it WWE Revolution. It'll be Evolution, but the R in parentheses, kind of like you do your...
The Bar, Nikki Cross, EC3.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
Batista. Takeover. One of the original takeovers was our Evolution, like Revolution. So I can kind of see that happening, especially if they do another Evolution event. Now that we talk about it.
This column right here, underneath
Ronda Rousey winning and Becky not.
I'm just saying, this whole column underneath the name Jerry is why Jerry is at the bottom of the No DQ Cup.
But the
wow.
I think it's a lot of people are like, Jerry, you don't watch they're like, Jerry, you don't watch the big brand stuff. It's the fact that they really don't think outside the box anymore like I do. Like, a lot of the stuff I come up with in my head is great.
You have to think outside the box because you don't watch the box.
Yeah. but I follow it close enough to know the stars and the mannerisms and what's going on with them.
Right.
And that's fine and or dandy, but I would George Carlin with that one.
Fine and or dandy. Never both at the same time, except once, but nobody asked me how I was doing.
But like I was saying, that'd be a really nice surprise, especially since we're doing the Saudi Arabia show, just an unannounced women's pay-per-view or women's exclusive to WWE Network pay-per-view that's maybe 2 hours long and decides championships. Because the two championships matches that I would love to see would be Shayna Baszler versus Charlotte Flair, because that would be an awesome match. And then Becky Lynch versus a dark horse in this whole thing that hasn't really even had a match, but I know since she hates her nasties and whatnot, Lacey Evans versus Becky Lynch for the probably the SmackDown title.
I would rather see Lynch versus Baszler and Flair versus Lacey Evans.
I think that'd be the case too, especially since Ronda Rousey would be more in tune with her feud with Lynch if she was sticking around.
Well, the whole thing is that if she's going to go out to start a family, you gotta have somebody to fill that spot. Shayna Baszler's gotta be the next point for that, which is why honestly
the reason I call it what it is the Rowdy Ronda. Oh, it's the Rowdy Ronda Rousey Revolution.
Yeah, quadruple R. I see what you mean.
Yeah,
and here's the thing. Last year, we fought Brock. Everybody and their mother thought Roman's gonna win. Brock's gone. What happened? Brock signed a contract. He stayed.
And the thing is with that, if she does go away and comes back maybe a year and a half, 2 years, she's automatically gonna say I martyred myself, gave up the belts, I come back, and this revolution is just pathetic. I have to set things right, and that's gonna restart the whole thing. she's gonna say like everything just went wrong the second she left, and now she feels the need to fix it, and it's all the fans' fault. She still becomes that heel that like she was meant to be, and she just picks up right where she left off. Whole bunch of heel heat. Somehow gets the titles back on her, and by that time, who knows? Maybe she'll actually be even more vicious than she is now, and more fluid in ring, because that's the thing. She's very robotic in what she does.
I imagine how bad WWE is right now at long-term storylines, and I'm trying to wrap my brain around them being able to pull off what you're talking about. Like, anytime you start going all whimsical about future storylines, like, I start tuning out, because I'm like, you're talking a year or two in the future. There is no way any of this is even possible 12 months from now. So because WWE is just really shitty at that.
Yeah.
Well, Jerry's very optimistic. That much we do know.
Well, the thing is with that is, I was thinking that same way, but at the same time, I'm going to go ahead and say it. Ciampa's kind of making me sympathetic toward that kind of thing. Because what if he does return to the ring and is able to compete?
I'm sure he's going to try.
Yeah, he's going to try. And it's probably going to cripple him. And that's going to be horrible, horrible, horrible to watch. But at the same time, they're seemingly optimistic that he's going to be able to return to the ring. Otherwise, they wouldn't even be following him at this point.
Speaking of crippling, did either one of you guys watch that John Oliver piece?
Yes.
I haven't got a chance to yet. My dad actually watched it and told me about it. He said it was brilliant.
Yeah, it is quite brilliant. And
oh my gosh, that was unbelievable.
Here's my commentary on that, because I also read the WWE response where they talk about all of the ways that they had responded to his initial contact with them and refuted all of his points. And I'm like, that's well and good. But if you can do it for him, you can do it for us right now. What were those points? How did you refute everything that he said? Because as far as
about the wellness policy, you think,
as far as my understanding goes, as a internet smart, like everything he said
is true.
Yeah.
And these are the things that come from following NoDQ.com for 20 years and seeing press releases and statements made by WWE.com and where they talk about all of these issues. They went into egregious detail when they talked about the wellness program back when they first debuted it because of Chris Benoit. There's a lot of wrestlers on social media that have gone into detail about the addiction recovery program.
Yep. It's worked for a lot of them.
Which is all well and good, but that is not health insurance.
Nope.
No.
Granted, okay, we work for a factory, and our factory provides us with the ability to pay for health insurance. Like, we pay for our health insurance, but they make sure it gets set up because they have to, because they employ us.
And it's good insurance.
Right. It prevents a liability, aka lawsuit.
And WWE, at the very least, should do the same, if not fucking pay for it all, because these people are working for them and putting their lives and their livelihoods in jeopardy and their health. They could break bones. Just as simple as that. Break bones.
Shortening lives, too. I mean, you saw how Vince reacted when that journalist wondered, do you claim any responsibility toward...
Oh my God, that was crazy.
Yeah, and then he had like a brand, like, and just whacked the papers, like...
Yeah, this was back in the early 90s, and Vince was just like irate, I guess, and he wouldn't say, he just waxed his whole, oh my God.
Yeah.
He reacted very, very badly, and it says a lot.
He acted unbecoming of somebody that runs a business, where in business, you're supposed to care about your employees.
That's like my thing with Ciampa's fact that I'm afraid he'll end up like Darren Drozdov. Like one bad power bomb or something right in the middle of the ring completely cripples him from like the...
Game over.
Yeah, and that's it.
And Vince doesn't take any responsibility for any of that, which leads me back to a point I made several weeks ago on the Rated R Rapport, where I talked about Vince after Sid Vicious died, brought Psycho Sid's wife onto the show via satellite and sat behind the commentator's table and asked her a bunch of really shitty questions.
Wasn't that Pillman?
Oh, you're right. It was.
Yeah, it was Brian Pillman.
It wasn't Psycho Sid. It was Brian Pillman.
They looked alike at that point. Just Sid was like, a foot and a half taller.
Two totally different personalities.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Psycho Sid's still alive.
Yep, just with a really, really bad leg.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he could go start we could start a GoFundMe or Indie something campaign because apparently the fans understand this and the fans are willing to help these people with their health issues. You saw that whole Jake the Snake Roberts segment. That was incredibly touching, but also unbelievable. The fact that we contributed to that. Why the fuck couldn't WWE?
Yep.
But this was the late 90s, so there was no GoFundMe. And he brought her on the show and just weeping. She's weeping, and he's asking her questions like, what are you going to do about the fact that your husband, the breadwinner in your household, died, and now you can't pay your bills? And I'm like, what the fuck? What the honest fuck? God damn.
You insensitive prick.
He was slightly more tactful in saying these things, but not much.
No.
And it's honestly hard to watch as an adult. As a kid, I'm sure I glazed over it. Like, I didn't give a fuck, but...
Well, that's because we had no common understanding. I'm like, what's going on here? What is this? Where's the wrestling? Where's the weird guy that makes me laugh? Now we're adults that comprehend what actually these people go through, and we see how vindictive, evil, sarcastic, and vicious. And
all you gotta know is
human being.
All you gotta know is Owen Hart fell from the rafters and smashed his head on the ring post, and all they did was clean the ring post and go about business.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, he takes no responsibility for the deaths of these wrestlers. The early deaths due to health issues, due to the fact that they were fucking wrestlers. He takes no responsibility for it. And that was that was the one part of that whole segment that was eye-opening.
Yeah. You remember the segment that CM Punk, he actually talked about how the doctors basically treated him and stuff, and how he was at the point of being Z-packed to death?
Yeah, where he shat his pants on SmackDown Live.
Shit his britches.
On SmackDown, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just shit my britches on SmackDown. Please retweet. That was great. That's
no longer that tweet's funny, but the matter is no longer matter.
No, it isn't.
This is true. Yeah,
shit.
I'm sure the issue is more complicated than I'm qualified to commentate on, but seriously though, that it's like 26 minutes long. He talks about WWE and makes a lot of funny jokes, so it's entertaining, but at the same time, god damn.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is
that's
bad.
John Oliver, he's a serious comedian that you really can't take seriously until the very end. You're like, you know what, you make a lot of damn sense.
And Vince does it all for money.
Jon Stewart's that same way though too. So
because Vince is taxed differently if these people, and he's held to a different standard if these people are considered what was the term?
Independent contractors.
Yeah, independent contractors, but they're not. They're not some plumber.
Go ahead.
Like the ones that built the second Death Star.
It's like, I don't think you have to.
Quote Jason Ventura, because how are you independent if you're literally only able to work under this company?
Right. So it's like,
that is an awesome point.
It's like, at the end of the year, you don't have to pay taxes on the couple $100 that you paid your plumber, because you're paying for a service, and he's an independent contractor. So I'm sure Vince gets a lot of tax breaks that he wouldn't normally get because he employs independent contractors as opposed to full-time employed wrestlers.
Mm-hmm.
So it's probably for a lot of different reasons, and if this whole thing blew up, Vince could end up losing a lot of money paying back the IRS.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm sure he is going to fight tooth and nail if this ends up becoming a big issue. But I think it really needs to become a big issue.
I'm about to say this is coming. This is coming at him at the worst time, but it's also the best time. I think.
I'm about to say, Gary, this is the best time to expose the dark side of the WWE.
And this is why I said this is why I said several weeks ago, WWE is not too big to fail.
Yeah.
they could go down. All it takes is a lot of these little things happening all at once. So what if Mania flops because people are so outraged about this that they start protesting by not watching? What if the people that do go to Mania have signs about this and start chants? What if they get more backlash by going back to Saudi Arabia in May? What if the viewership continues to decline, especially if Brock Lesnar keeps the Universal Championship and Raw ratings start to tank? What if SmackDown ratings go with it? And by October, when Fox is set to start airing SmackDown on their channel,
they decide not to.
They decide not to. And now you've got 5 years where Fox owns SmackDown, but they can't air anything. So there goes your show. I'm sure they'll develop another show, put it on USA or some other fucking channel, or just put it on the goddamn network. I'm sure they'll develop another show and call it something different, but there goes SmackDown. Boom, down the toilet. Now you're starting your viewers from scratch. There is a lot of dominoes that could fall right in a row and put WWE on their ass.
The snowball effect.
The domino theory, actually, Jerry, because it's one.
That's why I said dominoes in a row. Yeah.
Inertia.
Chain reaction.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it's insane to think about. And to think, we kind of got an idea of this over the years, just how Vince is just a dick. But John Oliver, in 23 minutes, truly opened a lot of people's eyes and all of forms of main media.
And I noticed the part because he sounded very sincere when he said he is a wrestling fan. My guess is he watches like Progress and a lot of the UK wrestling.
Yes.
Like he doesn't give a fuck. Like he doesn't give a fuck about WWE because his entertainment wrestling wise comes elsewhere.
From wrestling.
Like me, exactly. I watch Impact, I watch Ring of Honor, I watch New Japan, I watch independent wrestling.
But I think he knows what he's talking about because a lot of the references he talked about, he didn't say them like it was the first time he had heard this went on. But I don't think he's current because of the joke he made about Roman Reigns, and it's like...
That was the only thing I did not agree with.
You know what? I'm all for making fun of anybody. He wasn't making fun of Roman Reigns for having leukemia.
Correct.
He was making fun of Roman Reigns because his hair is 100% wet 100% of the time. And he said,
wrong.
And it looks like anyway, which is funny. I always thought that was funny too, because if you wet down your hair with water, it's going to evaporate, and eventually you're going to be in the ring, and especially Roman Reigns because he's got that Samoan hair, going to be everywhere.
It's got to be Soul Glow.
I heard just conditioner. Just not even leave-in conditioner, regular conditioner. Just they condition the fuck out of their hair and they brush it out.
Their hair all soft and smooth.
But I'm sure there's a number of things, oils and whatnot, they could put in their hair that won't evaporate and leave them looking like a frizzy mess in the ring. But I always thought that was hilarious because white guys do it too, and a lot of them don't need it. I feel like some of the guys that shave their head bald that are wrestlers, they just do it so they don't have to wrestle with wet hair anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I guess when you're part-time like John Cena, you can have hair like JBL and not have a fuck about what it is.
He looks more like Jim Varney.
Embrace the absurd.
I miss Earnest.
Yeah, so do I.
Even though those movies got played out after a while. Favorite Earnest movies?
Ernest Goes to Camp.
I've never seen Ernest Goes to Camp. But
dun, dun, dun.
For me, it's tied between Ernest Goes to Jail and Ernest Scared Stupid.
Slam Dunk Ernest.
I haven't seen that one either.
How can you consider yourself a fan?
What's your favorite? Have you ever seen an Ernest movie, Noah?
I think I've seen a couple of them because I remember working at Walmart and dude probably like, oh, Ernest, I remember this. I think I saw the prison one.
The jail one.
Ernest Goes to Jail is great.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure the other one. Damn it, I'm blanking.
Well, there's Ernest Goes to Africa, Ernest joins the army, Ernest Rides Again. Ernest Rides Again came around the same time, so that may actually have been the other one you saw.
It might have been that. It might have been that one. Because when you think of Ernest, you're like, okay, what's he doing? But Rides Again, it's like, okay.
Well, like after Jim Varney died, Blake Clark took over his voice for Slinky Dog and even asked for money for it, which I thought was really cool. So, yeah.
I remember the TV show.
Yeah. Oh, hey, Vern, it's Earnest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never saw that TV show. I grew up on 90s Nick and the original Disney with Dark.
Oh yeah, me too.
We're on the line at work tonight singing the theme song to Reading Rainbow. So
really,
that
yeah.
wasn't Nick, but
it was PBS, KET, whatever you want to call it.
I remember Schoolhouse Rock and some of those songs. The
Zoom and
Junction
Zaboomafu
still
and
stuck in my head sometimes.
Zoobly Zoo.
favorite Paulie Shore movie.
Biodome.
Oh yeah, okay, that one's almost too easy.
I was about to say Encino Man's a close second, but that's pretty much
I'm blanking.
Son-in-law.
Son-in-law was great. Inbreeders.
But those were kind of like he was supporting role almost.
Yeah.
As far as just him, like I either in the army now or jury duty. Man, it's a close one. I really love jury duty.
Jury duty was great.
Yeah, I've been out of touch with movies for a while. So as soon as you said that after, I was like,
We should stop though because we have to do NXT still.
All right.
Yeah,
well, this was a short rapport, but it was still good to get it in.
Oh yeah, because
are you not entertained by this, folks? Are you not entertained? I'll be shocked if he actually shows up as a cameo or in the audience at WrestleMania.
Paulie Shore?
Likely in all likelihood.
I'd rather see David Arquette.
It wouldn't be a rip against the realm versus since he's actually been wrestling.
Former WCW champion. Mm-hmm. So, for the Simple Man Noah Foster, for the General Jerry Slaughter, I'm the Rated R reviewer Stefan Osborne, and thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Have a good night, folks.